right, let's talk some Detroit Pistons stunting growth. Talk about Mason Plumlee. I always call him Miles. You know, his brother. He probably overseas playing somewhere. And Jeremy Grant. Will it be time to trade those guys and let DuBois and DuBois and Isaiah Stewart really take the reins, or do you let Jeremy Grant and Plumlee keep doing anything? But check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Man, I was just listening to Atlantic Star, man. If you don't know nothing about Atlantic Star, man, or you don't know nothing about music, you gonna listen to Atlantic Star. I'll give you a few music groups. The Atlantic Star is one. I like the staple singers. It's a lot of groups, man. LTD, Love Together, Devotion. You know, they sing, what we got is what's more than name, man. The Atlantic Star, one of my favorites, man. You know, they got Secret Love. That's them people. But you gotta ask yourself, man. What can you get for Grant and Plumlee? And, you know, are these guys ready to move on? Because remember, you got a log jam at the wing, man. You gotta remember that. And at the end of the day, if I could turn Jeremy Grant into a lottery pick or just slightly outside the lottery, I'd love to do it. No offense to him, I like Jeremy Grant a lot. But really, either we gotta say Josh Jackson, which we can move Josh Jackson, but we're not gonna get nowhere near the compensation we're gonna give for Jeremy Grant. Or however you want to do it. You want to move on from Josh Jackson and trade DuBois? I get it. But some way you got to clear up that 3 spot. Then remember, you got Savitas. He played 2 minutes last night, but I want to see him play more, meaningful minutes. So you got Savitas. You got DuBois. You got Josh Jackson, Sadiq Bey. And then think about it, too. In this coming draft, if you get top 4, or if you outside the top 4 or 5, you probably gonna end up with that Jonathan Kuminga guy, who will move over 3 or 4. So you got too many 3 and 4s. DuBois can play 3 or 4, Bey can play 3 or 4, Jackson played 3 or 4 a little bit, and Grant played 3 or 4 a little bit. So you got so many of the same players. So you got to move multiple. You can say we can get DuBois, but you're not gonna get a lot of compensation, unless you say, you know what. Let's say, we in a situation where, how can I say that, we want to move and get Karl-Anthony Towns. I said we end up with Jalen Green, right? And you move with Evan Mobley, you're not going to do Karl-Anthony. But let's say you're looking for, who else could be traded this year? Let's say you're looking for Karl-Anthony Towns. You can say I got DuBois, Jeremy Grant, Isaiah Stewart. And I think you can do that, but it may be some other players available this season as well too. Trying to think. Milwaukee may be looking to do some renovation. Miami may be looking to do some renovation. There may be a lot of players, but we know Karl-Anthony Towns gonna be on the block. He still got some years left. You got a log jam. Or what you can do is you can break them up and trade them for compensation, late first round pick, a lottery pick. But then again, you have too many of the same players: Grant, Bey, Jackson, DuBois. So what is you gonna do? Are you gonna move one of them? You're gonna have to. And then the prime candidates of moving those guys are the veterans. But then we look like Josh Jackson. Gotta keep Josh Jackson, I guess, because he don't get you that much on the open market. Then you're looking at Bey, DuBois, and Grant. We can say, okay, Grant gonna be our 4 for years to come. Okay, so then you're looking at DuBois and Bey. Bey not going nowhere. Is he gonna be our 3 for years to come? Yeah, because what Bey and Grant, what they bring is defense. They can guard multiple players, and some of these situations can guard people that play the 5. So really, what it boiled down to, if we keeping Grant, we keeping Bey, we keeping Jackson, not up to DuBois to move DuBois. Could you keep all of them yet? But really, what it boiled down to is he going to be DuBois or Jackson? I think Josh Jackson is on a 1-year contract. I could be wrong. But you hate to lose somebody that's providing. Put a football player up here. We hate to somebody that's providing potential. But Josh Jackson, I mean, I can see him going to the Lakers helping them. He got a 2-year deal with us, so he ain't going nowhere, right? I mean, as far as finances. But, I mean, you got the same player over and over again. And now you ask yourself, who do you move? Do you take Grant and Bay or Jackson DuBois and try to move up in the draft? And try to get 2 top 5 picks and walk away with Evan Mobley and Jalen Green? You could do that. I mean, you could take them and move up too. Because one thing we know for sure, Minnesota, and they very, very well clean house, but Minnesota don't need no more young players. So instead of, getting Carl Town, you could take Minnesota. Hey, we give you picks, give you future first. We take your number 2 spot, whatever spot you get. If they are 7th, 8th, 4th, 5, take their spot. They need veteran players, but just looking at it, man, just some of the same players. Then you see some guys coming out. Cade Cunningham, you got Killian, same player. Jalen Suggs, you got Killian, pretty much the same player. What it boiled down to is getting Evan Mobley and Jalen Green. And could you get both of them? I mean, I think you could. I think you could. But then again, I mean, then Stewart would be involved, Plumlee would be involved, Jackson, Bayer, Grant would be involved, DuBois would be involved. Or do you just say, you know what? I look at Oklahoma City Thunder. I could take some of these players and try to get Shea Gilgeous. Do I look at Cleveland and see somebody in Cleveland I like? I try to get them. Do I look at Washington? I try to get Bill. Do I look at Toronto and try to get old boy got into it with Nick Nurse a couple months ago. Pascal Siakam. I mean, do you just looking? Do I look at Indiana and try to walk away with Sabonis? I mean, these players give you a lot of flexibility. Do I look at Charlotte and try to do something and end up with Devontae Graham? Do I look at New Orleans and say some of the talent they got? Do I say, okay, I try to convince them like, okay, Brandon Ingram and Zion, they're not cutting it. So, I mean, you could look at that as well, and then you just ask yourself with Plumlee too, you just look and say, is it Stewart time, or if we gonna get Evan Ingram, can Stewart and Ingram play together? We gonna use Plumlee to teach Ingram and Stewart. I mean, teach Mobley and Stewart. And then you look at Pelicans, man, they got players like Brandon Ingram that may not work. You got the picks and the firepower, possibly the picks and firepower to make that work. So, I mean, they got a lot of different options they can really, really do, man. They got a lot of same players, saving the league. And, and I don't think it's quite time to turn young players into veterans, but it's coming. It's coming for them guys, man. And, you look at Plumlee, is Stewart ready to take the reins? Or, if you end up with Evan Mobley, you still need Plumlee to teach him. But, I think I'll keep Bay, Grant, and I think Plumlee is to the point, he's just a veteran. He's just a veteran leader. Maybe we keep him, but, will he take a reduced role? Can you play him and Stewart together? I mean, that's the question. But it's going to be interesting because you end up with Jalen Green, none of this matters. It's just simply trying to get playing time, see what Savitas is, see what DuBois is, see what Jackson, Bay, Grant is. That's what it really boiled down to. Kind of what it is, man. See what those type of players, with those. If you get Green, I mean, really, you just don't want to hurt DuBois. Do we say he's still what? He's still 20 years old. He'd be 21. So do we say, we just keep him in the bullpen next year when the shit clear up, we put him in the G League? I mean, you could say that, but it's gonna be interesting, man. But I really think you probably can keep them guys for one more year. But if you get Evan Mobley, someone's gonna have to shake because Stewart playing too well. But if you get Jalen Green, you probably can hold this off for 1 year. Splendid to DuBois, we still want to develop, you get stronger. But they getting close. They getting close. About 2 more years. Keep Grant, keep Bay, Stewart. If you get Mobley, something happening there, and you able to get Jalen Green is the fastest player that's gonna get you there. Jalen Green is gonna be the fastest player that's gonna get you there because if he develop, he score, you get a guy to get buckets. Killian keep doing what he gonna do. He develop into that point, that pass first point guard. I think it's pretty much a wrap. And I think it's about just develop. I think the Pistons gonna be a team, man. You see Boston real struggling. No real king in the East. Especially I think Brooklyn gonna, eventually they're gonna go their separate ways. about 3 or 4 years, the Pistons keep drafting right, keep developing players. They're gonna be right there coming up in the East. But hey, don't forget me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. All my links there. To reach out anytime you have a business question, require response, or video request. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link there as well too. Best way to donate. Share the video. Don't forget to check my channel out for more sports, music, news, entertainment. Goodfellow Sports TV. One time for the one time. Peace.